What's up, everyone? My name is Amy and I am the owner of an online women's clothing boutique called Callan Boutique that I started back in February 2020, and today I want to share with you the steps that I took to start that boutique. So the reason I want to share this with you today is that when I was going to start my boutique, I found myself just looking at so many different resources and videos and articles, and there really wasn't one spot where I could find everything that I needed in order to start my boutique. So one, to create this resource for you so you can easily access it when you decide that you want to launch your own business, online boutique, or anything like that. So the first thing that you're going to want to do when you are starting a business or online boutique is to choose a name. Now this is really important because you want it to be something that is easy to remember, easy to spell, and just easy for people to associate with your brand. So really, if you can make it meaningful to you in some way or make it associated directly to what you are selling, that is best. You're going to want to check social media to make sure that that name is not taken. For example, my boutique is named Callan Boutique, and I ended up choosing the handle Shop Callan Boutique for all of my social media accounts. So you want to make sure that on all of the different social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever, that username is available, and you are able to use it across all of those accounts and have that same brand name to really gain that brand recognition from your followers. You also want to make sure that whatever name you are going to choose, that domain is available. So you can do that just by typing the domain in the search bar and seeing if a website comes up. But I would also recommend going to GoDaddy.com, and through there you can just type whatever domain you are looking to get and see if it's available to purchase and how much it is to purchase. So to buy a domain name, it's not very expensive. It's like, I think, $12 or $15 a year. So as soon as you have decided on your brand name, it is available across all the social media channels, and the domain is available. If you have your heart set on it, I would recommend snatching that domain name up as quick as possible, especially if it's between $10 and $15. So it wouldn't be a whole lot lost if some of the other things kind of don't fall into place. So first thing, decide on your brand name. Before I get into the next few things, these are kind of the legal things that you need to follow when starting a business. Number one, I am not a professional. I am not advising you that you have to do any of these things, or that you should do these things in this way or in this order. I did a lot of research, and I'm just sharing what I did and what worked for me in the state and the county that I am in. A resource that I found very, very helpful was, I am based in North Carolina, and for North Carolina, their Department of Revenue website, their government website, was super helpful for everything, starting a business, anything that you need to know. So I would recommend that being the first place that you go to kind of just see where you need to get started legally to start your business. So the second thing you're going to want to do after you've chosen your business name, you're going to want to register that name. So when you go to register, you are going to have to decide what business structure you want. So there's a couple different options. You can be a sole proprietorship, you can be an LLC. An LLC is what I chose, what was right for me for my business. There are some positive and negatives for both, so just be sure to look into that and choose the one that works best for you. There is an application fee. It's probably different in all states, but for me in North Carolina, to submit my application for an LLC, it was like $120. And then this differs by state. In North Carolina, each year you have to file an annual report for your LLC, and that is actually $200. I think that's probably more on the expensive side than some other states, but you can't really control that. That's just something that you have to do based on whichever state that you are in. They will say on the website that after you submit that application that you should wait until you hear back from them before buying a domain, doing any branding, or creating any logos, but you can actually look and see if there are any other businesses that have the business name that you are applying for, and if there aren't any, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to get approved. So I looked before I submitted mine as an LLC and saw that there weren't any other businesses with that name, so I knew it was probably going to get approved, so I went ahead and moved on to the next step, which is to apply for an EIN. And basically what this is your employer identification number, so your federal tax ID number. So you can do this right on the IRS website. It is very, very easy. I think this is the one that I got an email or something in the mail just within a few days sharing what my EIN number was, because then you need that for the future steps. So register your business, decide what kind of structure you want, and register for an EIN. So this next step actually took me kind of a little bit, because you have to apply for a seller's permit, and it actually has a lot of different names in different states. It can be called a seller's permit, a resale permit. In North Carolina, it's called a sales and use tax. And so it kind of took me a while to figure out which was which and what I actually needed to. Again, definitely hire a professional or consult someone who knows what they are talking about when doing some of these things if you are unsure. But for this, you do have to apply online for it, and this allows you to be able to collect tax on the items that you sell, and then to remit that tax to the state and the county at whatever time frame that they require you to do that. In North Carolina, there's no fee for you to apply. It was actually really, really easy. This one, I actually got an email within a few hours or like a day with what my sales and use tax number was, and then I got a certificate in the mail about a week later. And then you can use that number to apply for an exemption certificate. And with an exemption certificate, this says that you do not have to pay tax on items that you buy from wholesalers, because you are planning to resell them, and then the new buyer would then pay tax on them. So that way you're not doubling up paying tax when you buy them from the wholesaler, and then also having the buyer pay tax on it. So resale permit, sales and use tax permit, whatever it is called in your state, and then apply for that exemption certificate. Okay, so that covers most of the legal things that I did. Next, you're going to want to set up a business bank account, and especially if you set your business up as an LLC, you want to keep that separate from you personally. So for that, call ahead and see what you need, whatever bank you plan on banking at. Most banks are going to require you to bring your LLC certificate, if that's what your business structure is, and your EIN number, your federal tax number, and that certificate with it. But just go ahead and call them before you go, just to make sure that you have everything that you need. And then comes the fun part. So after you have all the legal things in place, then you can finally start to work to build your website. Now, I recommend kind of working through this on your own if you're just starting out. However, I know a lot of new business owners might hire someone to build their website. Honestly, it's not too difficult if you are at all digitally savvy. I use Shopify for my website, and that is what I would highly recommend. A lot of businesses use Shopify, and it's just a really user-friendly, easy interface to use, especially for people starting out. So you can choose your plan on Shopify, and then you can also choose a theme. There are a lot of free themes. However, I have found that the themes that cost a little bit of money up front, they end up having a lot more functionality, and you can customize them a lot more. And really, once you've found your theme and you've decided on your plan, you're just going to have to take some time. It's probably going to take a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, to get your website how you want it to be. A lot with Shopify, they use a lot of widgets in their theme, so you can just kind of move things around, change colors, and just really get it to look how you want it to. So after all of those technical things are done, then you can actually start to create your logo and your branding. If you are planning on hiring someone to do that, you can start researching design firms and people that might freelance and create those logos for you. I created ours on my own. I really like doing that, so that was really fun for me. You can also create and order some stickers that you're going to include on your packaging, any kind of inserts that you're going to include. If you want me to do a video on this, leave me a comment down below, but I'm planning on hopefully eventually sharing how I pack my items when someone orders, and then I can show you some of the items that I include in that have our branding and our logo on them. Next, you're going to need some of your other supplies. Just kind of overall to help your business function. I actually got a lot of things off of Amazon, but there are a lot of different vendors that you can order from. Things like your poly mailers, your label maker, your tissue paper. Again, if you want me to do another video on that, leave a comment down below and I can share kind of my process of ordering those supplies that I needed right away. And then from there comes what I think is one of the most fun parts, and that is ordering your product. So there's a couple different ways to go about this. When I started my boutique, it was kind of when everything was changing a lot because of COVID, beginning of 2020, so there weren't any trade shows that I could go to to buy products and to try them out. So what I ended up doing is that I kind of researched other things that I had bought from other boutiques, different brands that I like, and just explored different websites and made different accounts on all kinds of different wholesale websites. And if you just search online, you can find a ton of them, and actually just tried a few brands out just to see what I like. Most of them were pretty good. I did a lot of research before, but there were a few that were some misses. So if you have the opportunity to go to a trade show, there's a really big one in Vegas, a really big one in Atlanta and Dallas, and a few others. Definitely take that route if that is an option for you. But if it is not, look at what you've ordered from other boutiques, research brands online that you enjoy, and just kind of scour their website, social media to see what kind of items would fit for your boutique that you are starting. So that really covers everything that you're going to need to get started with your online business or boutique. And after you've created all of this, you're going to want to start to create some hype for your launch and just continuing to market on social media to grow your followers and just to grow overall traffic to your website. So thank you all for watching. I hope this has been super helpful. If you have any questions for me about anything I shared, leave it down below in the comments. If there is anything else that you want me to share about my experience starting and operating an online boutique, drop me a comment below and we will see if we can get it in the docket. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you later.